Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is The Rise of Cornoe, the series, of course. Cornoe is way over there where we started. And we have since expanded into Satomik and into Susselgrad, into the Susselgrad Canal District over here, which is our current major project. And that is expanding into this new area that's still missing a bit of a name. So this is our production peninsula. And if you have some suggestions for a name for this new peninsula over here, I would love to hear it. We'll have a coal mine at some point, but we're also going to have some significant industry. This is our electronic industry over here, and we will be doing vehicle production as well as rail production in the not too distant future once we've got all of this stuff built. Today, we're going to focus on getting the electronics up and running. We've already got one of the factories working. The others are not too far off. We want to make sure we get our infrastructure in here in place as quickly as possible, and then we can start finishing these things off. We do need to build up some of these other items, so let's have a quick look who's actually working on it. So if we look at the helicopters, yeah, the helicopters are doing all of the construction items, so slowly and steadily we will get there. The helicopters aren't doing these though, so let's make sure we've got a lot of our construction projects underway, so we can finish off all of our roads and whatnots. Okay, so we want to make sure we are actively sorting all of those out, while at the same time obviously building up a bit of a workforce over here. We see about a 4% unemployment rate. We're going to need to bump that up a little bit more, so a few more buildings in this area would be quite useful. You know what I need in this place, right? I need, there's a train waiting too long. Let's quickly have a look at that, because that is not ideal. In this context, I am all good with it. This is all good, all fine. No need to worry about that. These guys don't need to be running at full speed. They can wait over there. So it's actually meaning that our whole construction industry there is looking, or our whole waste industry there is looking pretty good. That's not a big problem over there. We're busy building a hospital here, a monument, and we can obviously expand in this area, but I think I'm not going to kind of be rushed on this side, just because our infrastructure here, well, it is kind of in place. I don't think we've got a lot of heating capacity. If I quickly have a look at our heating stations, right? So if I look at this guy, right, we've got heating over here, and it's already at its capacity. So really, once that guy opens up, I don't think we've got room for anything else unless we bring in some additional heating from elsewhere. And I was kind of wondering about putting a bit of a heating plant in here. Do we even have something like an oil heating plant? If I go to the mods, right, and I go to heating plant, right, heating plant, I think we may have oil heating. I was just wondering about it. Yeah, here we do. We do have a bit of oil heating. So we could maybe do something like this. So that's 36 gigajoules. If I compare that to, what is this guy? A heating. Whoa, that's crazy amounts of heating. What does that actually use? Power consumption at a maximum. That's interesting. I'm not sure that's realistic, but I mean, obviously that's a fairly big drain on electricity. But presumably, I mean, we can power a pretty big city with that, right? 588 gigajoules, right? If we go, I just want to have a look, right? If we go here to heating, and we have a look at these heating plants, the major large heating plant, that's more than double this guy, and significantly more than this guy. It's like 10 times this guy, more than 10 times this guy. But obviously, that guy is directly grabbing heating from the power grid. And it is generating waste. It shouldn't be, I guess, not a lot. Small gas heating plant, so we can use some oil to generate it. So something like this could be quite useful. But compared to that, yeah, actually, something like this could be something that we use over here, especially considering we've got oil here, right? So what I was wondering, maybe what we could do is we could put a little, does that thing need workers? It probably does, of course. The small gas heating needs 5 workers. So workers is obviously going to be a bit of a problem, so we'll need to run a bit of a bus or something to get the workers there. which is the kind of the the difference to this general setup. If I do grab oil, just want to have a look, right? If I do grab the whole oil thing here, can I grab an extra? Do I have any extra? That's not quite what I not quite what I planned. Not quite what I planned. Let's get that out of the way. Go back. I just want to check if we maybe have a little. We could maybe get a small amount over here. So if we could put something in there that could run a heating plant over here with that could maybe give us a little bit more heating in that context there. If I squeeze it over here, we could get a similar kind of ratio there, and that could pump jack something over here, and we could run a bit of an oil heating plant over here. So just a couple of things I'm thinking about, but obviously going back to the mods, going back to the electricity options. So this is an incinerator heating plant. That's not a good idea because just consistency. This is a tiny heating plant using oil again. This could actually using oil could actually mean we could squeeze it in directly, and it's such a small amount of pollution. We could even squeeze it into the town area. That's a bit of a more major gas heating plant. These pollution numbers are a bit too extreme. Combined cycle heating plant. That's a lot of heating that generates, and it also again uses oil. Now, oil is not something I want to necessarily be using regularly, but then I am a little bit intrigued by the electricity one. So if we look at that, 876 megawatt hours. If we compare that to our electricity here, right? So that takes almost all of this, right? So I don't know if that's the right call. Something like that, 1,000 megawatt, basically. Just wanted to have a look to see something like that. What is this guy? That's huge, enormous. That's a gas power plant. So something like this. So 8.8 tons of oil gives us about 1,000 megawatt hours. So that gives us quite a nice number. If we then put that into this guy, how long can it run that? It gives us about 8 of them. 8 of them gives us about not even 300. Yeah, maybe 250 to 300 gigajoules. Whereas we could run this guy and get more than double that. Okay, so obviously maybe that is the better way of doing it. Anyway, I digress. Let's have a quick look. So one thing that I wanted to do here is get ourselves a facility that's going to tell us about the city accounting office. I want to build a city accounting office. This one takes about 250 workers. I didn't necessarily want to do that, but I want a nice building. That was kind of my view here. I don't want to necessarily, fill it with workers, but I wanted a bit of a nice building. So that's a reasonable building. This is a nice building. That's a really nice building. But I don't want to use that many workers. 25 workers is a good number for the city accounting office. So I think we may do the vanilla option here because it's a reasonably nice building that we can have fairly central over here. I guess that's probably the right way of looking at it. So we can grab the city accounting office in here. We can kind of line it up a little bit nicer like so. We could squeeze in a few other bits and pieces next to it. If we look at the mods ever so quickly, if we go to accounting, need to keep an eye on the money there. Accounting. So we've already got these in the area there, right? So that's fine. That's okay. So city accounting office, municipal administration has 56 workers. Is that building a little bit better? I mean, that building we could squeeze in something like this, but I kind of feel like that building needs to be a little bit more reasonable, right? It needs to be have a little bit more substance to it, a little bit more grandeur. So I think I'm going to go ahead and build it right in the heart of town over here. Do we build it in the heart of town over here? It will still have walking distance too. Let's do that. See what we walk to. We can't walk to the station from here. So the residential buildings in this area won't necessarily be very useful to us. But we can reach a number of different things. I kind of like the idea of having it central. Though central, it would make sense to have something a little bit more substantial in there, but I don't want to, at this stage, kind of use too many workers for it, because if it doesn't have workers, it won't even be used, right? Got workers over there. We don't have a lot of workers, but we will, ultimately we will, right? Ultimately, we will have a lot of workers here. Let's not think workers is an issue for us. Let's go with substance. We want the city, this one. That's 250. That's 100. 250. What does this guy look like? Wow. That's pretty big. I think that's a little bit oversized. This one, I like the idea of this one. It's got a nice little feature right in the heart of town, and it kind of matches the shapes that we're having for that guy over there, for the hospital over here. So I guess this is what I'm keen on doing. And when we have that up and running, and that means we could still kind of supplement it with a little bit of a park on the other side and have something smaller on that side as well. Okay, let's extend our pathway. So the idea is, yeah, that I think is a good way of extending that pathway. I will at the same time go about tying this one in like so, tying that one in like so. I think that's a reasonable way of tying them in together. I'm going to go ahead and pay for those, so we'll immediately have access to start the construction here, just so that we can gauge how many actual workers we have available in this area. Let's get our construction crews assigned so that they can start the construction process. I do like the substance of the building. It's a slightly higher building than all of the others. It feels like architecturally it'll work quite nicely in the area. It matches the theme of the hospital, and it'll be a nice little feature in the middle. And I think while we are looking at that, let's look at the park setup that we'll have on the other side. We're doing nice little park features all over. So let's have a look if there's anything fairly special. I think maybe a fountain. This seems like it could be. What does this fountain actually give us? It doesn't give us much, right? But it is a nice little feature fountain in that area, just to kind of make this whole area look a little nicer and not the kind of normal all the time. I think let's do it. I haven't built this fountain at all, so let's build this fountain, and then what we'll do is we'll have it offset a little bit, and what we'll do is we'll line it by trees and not get too crazy with what we're doing with this. What I will do, though, is I'll do a little bit of a path like that with a light so that can kind of work its magic in there. Let's make sure to also assign our crews to construct that, and let's set up our our trees, and then we'll move on to the next. So what am I actually doing for trees at the moment? So this is a bit of a mix and match. These are the poplars that I like the poplars, so I'm going to go with the poplars in this area, right? Yeah. We're gonna go and plant a row of poplars here. Before we do that, though, did we want to extend our? Did we want to? You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and grab this this road here, right? And I'll pay for it, to be honest, just so we can actually have a pretty decent kind of main road through the middle of it in terms of walking and all these things. This guy is getting a little bit problematic, so what I'll do is let's just go get that built. Don't get too much else built, but I'm keen on trying to get all of this kind of connected up here. There we go. So that means we don't need an extra path down there. It means people can have pretty reasonable walking areas in here to get to these various facilities. And we can go ahead and plant the poplars that we so wanted to do. So let's get our row of poplars in place over here so that they can slowly build themselves or grow into a nice little feature of our town here. Similarly, we'll leave that there for the time being. What we'll do, we'll leave the rest as is. I think I don't want to be closing off it on all sides. I think that'll be a nice little park feature for us to look into. Now, because we've got some other facilities in this area, what we could also do is we could then maybe start looking at expanding on our buildings, right? So let's quickly add a little bit more housing to be under construction as well. I am keen on replicating the type 75 houses, right? Does that say? Yeah, so it's these guys, right? So we've got longer ones and then we've got slightly shorter ones. Type 75 should give me a reasonable, 84% of people liking living there. These are the longer ones. How many work? 144. Maybe this is the one that we should be after. Is that about the same height? Yes, absolutely. So we're already doing an alignment like that. So what I'm kind of thinking is if I turn them like, just want to make sure we're doing a reasonable job. So if I turn them like 90 degrees, right? And we do maybe one like there. And can I flip it around? Let's do that. And maybe one over here. And then is there a smaller one we can finish it off at type 75? I think this is a smaller one, so it will be a slightly smaller option in the same alignment. I think that's actually pretty reasonable on that alignment right there. So let's do that. So there we go. Got a number of additional little paths that we need in through here. So grab me. I want to make sure we're running it fairly straight through the middle there. So something like that. And then something like that is okay. I'm happy to. We don't want to do that. We'll lose the connectivity. We'll do something like this and something like that. We could still add a little something on this side. I'm happy to do this, and I'm kind of thinking I need to do that, right? Let's pay for all those paths, and then we can start running through here as well. So let's get the construction crews in here to start building up on those items there. So that's pretty cool. That gives us the next piece. Whether we will be able to reach out to that side, I don't think so. So we will need to... is this one an opportunity for us? I don't think so either. So probably this will have to be... we may still have issues with this one, actually. So this one doesn't actually... I think it might actually reach it eventually. I think maybe we're not seeing the connectivity to these guys. So maybe we'll hold off a little bit on that one and just keep that going slowly. Okay. The money is dropping pretty substantially at the moment, right? So let's speed things along a little bit and see what's going on. These construction items are coming along fairly reasonably. Let's have a look if there's any trains we can export right this minute. And the answer to that is yes. So we can really bolster our train export a little bit by grabbing this guy and say, go, buddy, go. Do your thing, go and grab what you need to do, and go and sell those items there. If we have a look at what's happening over here, let's quickly just let's have a quick look at our vehicle replacement items. So there's plenty of waste trucks here, so we are going with those. There are plenty of the others there. So I think we've got reasonably everybody in place here. We've got police, we've got the I would like these to be the black color, please, because they, you know what we're using them for? They are the secret guys. let's see. Oh, yeah. So it wasn't registering a click there. There we go. We get the black color in there because that would be the secret police. We've got the refrigerator. We've got a lot, actually. What are we missing? Are we... I don't think we've got the open holes, right? So these open holes are not there and the dumpers aren't there. So let's make sure we are building... did we have the three guys? Let's maybe trim that one back. We'll get these ones in place. I don't think we need... Oh, we've already got them. We don't need any more of them. I think we need a bit more of these guys, right? Of the excavators. Excavators... I think they're okay, but we're missing. Oh, here it's easy. It's easy to say. So open holes. We need mixers. So let's get our mixers in place. We don't actually have any mixers. So let's trim out the stuff we don't have. We do have open holes in place. We do have dumpers actually, but maybe it's just a few. So let's do that. We do need additional excavators. We do need additional bulldozers. Do we need any additional buses? I don't think so. Not at the moment. Don't think we need any of these. We need how many open holes? Yeah, we need quite a few open holes actually. So let's close out all of those and let's add to the mix here open holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open holes. Okay, so we'll get the open holes in there. Got the plows. Okay, we need the mixers. Give me the mixers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mixers would be okay. Then we're going on. We do have the oil trucks. We do have the ambulances. We do have the cranes. We have the bulldozers on the queue. We have the excavators on the queue. We have rollers. We need pavers. So let's grab a few pavers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think should be okay. That's an old ambulance. But anyway, that one can still be done. And we've got that one. Let's move on. We've got buses. We've got refrigeration. We are having excavators on the list. Mixers is on the list. These cars are okay. Trolley buses is something we'll have to manage separately. We're not going to do that over here right now. Cement wagons and things like that. I don't think we need much more. We have the loggers. Oh, I took the loggers out. So we are actively missing loggers. Okay. So let's get a couple of loggers back on the list there. So let's get a couple of extra loggers on the list. We have about 3 of them. Maybe we'll grab 3 of them on the list then. Those are okay. Those are okay. Prison vans, prison bus, right? Prison transport. So let's grab two of them. We don't need much more. And then we do need the cement ones. Open holes. Yeah, open holes is on the list. Cement. This is dry bulk tank. Dry bulk tank or cement, right? Let's have a quick look. Dry bulk, no. Cement, no. So we don't actively have those to replace, and we're not going to buy. We're not going to buy one of those blueprints right now. So we'll leave that list in there for the time being. The train has, I'm guessing, delivered some stuff. So let's quickly see. Is this the guy? Yeah, this is the guy that was delivering our rail, right? Industrial railway production. Let's just rename this train to the train export train. I like it. The train export train. If we do that, it should be easy to find it all the time. So that's okay. You're done. You can go back to that. You did bolster our income a little bit. So we are micromanaging our income levels just a tad, but I think everything else is moving pretty smoothly, actually. Okay, now with that in mind, one more check before we jump into our electronics factories over there. Let's just have a look at what the progress is like with our infrastructure. It's going pretty well, I must say. The rail is almost here. The road is under construction quite nicely as well. Oh, yeah, if we zoom in, we can see. So we're pretty close to being able to start planning out our area there. And we can also start planning out the reconnection on this side. I think we need to probably, if we go here, probably try and run across here and add in on this side and then join up with our network in here. This is the port. A lot of this needs to actually be extended. To be honest, we need to maybe extend to there so that we can have a look at tying these up on over through here. I think that would be quite useful for us, so we don't need to go all the way over there to go over there, right? That'll be quite a nice little shortcut in this area. So let's switch that off for the minute, and we'll have a bit of a look. So, okay, that's okay. We're not going to expand this side of Visselgrad Canal any further beyond these kind of activities we have here. What we are going to do, though, is have a look. Our construction is underway here, and our poplars are growing. I like it. And we are going to have a look at what we can do to kind of streamline and get this area to move a little bit quicker. I am a little bit concerned it's taking a bit of time, so... yeah, there's too many things that's happening. Let's go underground. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly start helping out a little bit with the infrastructure. Right, so I'm going to slowly start that and just make sure that we have power and water and all these kind of things over here. I'll be supporting the construction of those items. So if we have a look, yeah, I guess we are needing to pay for that guy, and we're needing to pay for this guy, so that we immediately can make a start on all of those. So I guess all of this is done. Okay, so now that means we definitely have power. What I'll do is I will build that one as well. So our infrastructure is in place and ready to go straight away. If we look at this, we've got power. We've got power in 2 different locations, and we should have water here as well. Water is available, and sewage should be okay to pick up from everything we need sewage to pick up from. Our roads here is okay. I might pay a little bit for the finalization of some of these. Whoa, they're pretty pricey. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let the guys continue the construction journey here. We've got the power. We've got, I guess we'll start seeing people working here. Okay, maybe what we'll do is I'll pay for this one. It's pretty close to being done. Right, so let me pay for that one so we can slowly set it up and start getting things to move. These guys should be able to make a start even before those. So once and for that reason, I might, I might pay for the construction of one of them, okay? And then we'll get our vehicles to come over and we'll start setting things up. So what do we need here? We need plastics to come in. We need steel to be delivered directly to these guys, so that will do, and chemicals. So we need plastics and chemicals. It obviously needs to store electronic components, and then on this side of it, it needs plastics again, right? So let me just go back, have a quick look at the advanced industries, and if we look at the electronics assembly halls that we've got, they require mechanical components as well. Okay, so we need, limiting our amounts, we need 0 of these. We did need chemicals. Yeah, we do need chemicals. So let's do 10 chemicals. 0, 0, 0, 0 clothing. We need to allow electronic components at 25. We need to allow for mechanical components. Come on. Maybe 10. We need to allow for plastics at maybe 10. And, no, that needs to be 25 and 0. So now we've got 50, and we can spread out the rest a little bit more. So if we said maybe 15, we need to match actually the amounts that we need. So let's go 15, 15, and then that guy can be 20, right? So that gives us a starting point. So how much does that give us? So 72 tons of chemicals, 140 of... So I do want more electronic components and more electronics. So those two are good. Mechanical components at 160 might be high, and then plastics at 60. So if we look at the ratios here, we need a little bit more plastics than we need chemicals. And if we look at the ratios in the assembly, we need we need more plastics here. So plastics is going to be the big ticket item, not so much the mechanical components. So what we need to do is we need to change this one around. This needs to be This one, I think, needs to be 30. And then that one can be 10. And this one can be 10 as well. So I think that is going to be a good number for us. I think that might be a reasonable setup, just because we're going to need plastics on both sides. Okay, so with that in mind, now we'll rename this one as electronic inputs. Right. Okay. And what you are going to do is you are going to make your way over to this side where you can pick up from here and you can pick up from there, right? So that's where you will be picking up, because you need to be picking up steel. Okay. You will be unloading over here. Okay. And you'll be unloading directly at all of these guys, right? And what I want to do is I want to try and get us up to about a 50% number there. Okay, so that's a good starting point. So now what do we need? We need open hulls and we need covered hulls to be able to move the goods that we have. So let's go over here to our vehicle production area. We'll grab 1, 2, 3. I think that should be okay. And then these are dumpers. I don't necessarily want the dumpers in play right now. So I guess we're going to have a bit of an issue with the open hull. So we'll go back. Actually, this is set up. So let's quickly pop in and see what's going on. Let's close out let's move this guy forward and we'll close out the rest of those. So once that dump is done, we'll start creating these other open holes to take us forward there. We've got a couple of the covered holes, which we'll use to fill up our various areas. I do like all the lighting in this area. We're pretty cool. So let's move some stuff in here. You can come in here and you can slowly start to stock up our storage area. Let's see. I'm not a big fan of that color scheme. Can we change it? No, we can't. Interesting. But anyway, that's getting there, moving along pretty quickly. So, and I'm happy to report that all of our road connections here are pretty good, and all of these are slowly continuing on its journey. So let's make sure that we are actively building. We can't actually get there, but we want to actively be building a lot of this stuff because we want to keep expanding, right? At the same time, we might call the track builder in to start working on this stuff. Let's just have a look at that one. Let's make sure that is moving as well. We want to get there as quickly as possible. So that initial enabling infrastructure to make sure our construction crews can get there is quite an important piece of the puzzle. Okay, now let's have a quick look if we can get the track builders to make a start in this area. I think we should have sufficient track builders available. Yeah, there's plenty of them, and we're only building 2 sections, so we may as well start the journey on a few more. I don't think it's going to be a problem for us to make that start. We do want to have a look to see that they have the option to move. Yeah, that's the through movement there. So rail doesn't connect to the construction office, but this side should, right? Okay, so let's do that. That one doesn't want to work. So if we want to be really proactive about this, we don't want to be blocking off other stuff, but we've got a fair bit of room here. So what I might do, I might just put a bit of a crossover in here, and then the guys can, with a little bit of a block, so the guys can stay. So let's do that. That's okay. I'll just do the crossover kind of under the bridge here. Yeah, that should be okay, and that should be okay. I will pay for the crossover, and then we'll do the mixed signals on this side, and we will do, I believe we'll do a chain here, block on the other side, and then we'll need to probably do this and that. Yeah, and the rest should be fine. So now at least we've got a room for a few of these track builders to be parked up. So at the same time, now let's try. What? Oh, okay. Hang on. Do that and then do that. Okay, perfect. So now we can send the track builders in here to go and continue that track building with the crossover there. So it's not as challenging to deal with. Now, what is our progress here? This is looking pretty good. 62, 40, 50, 28. And this one is the one I would like to, well, actually, shall we? Well, we don't need to. Once we have our trucks in place and they can start running some stuff through here, that should be, what is this? Is this the accounting office? No, that's a hospital. And it doesn't have drinking water? Really? It's obviously something that we need to pay attention to straight away. Okay, I understand why. Okay. Oh. It's more than just that. Is this under construction at least? Okay, what I might do is I might have to pay for a little slither over here. Just so that we actively have water. There are no staff, workers with basic education. Okay, well that'll happen over time, right? We'll get there. We need paths to bring over here, bring people over here. You know what we could do? We could maybe, I mean, we could comfortably build a little path through there or just over here. So what I'm kind of wondering is, do I do, kind of thinking, let's make a start like this, right? Okay, and then I'm kind of wondering whether I, from here, go out that way, do that, and then say, pay for all of that, right? So now I'm just thinking, now we may have more accessibility to staff. Oh, we don't. Hang on. I'm going to fix it. It's a bit of a, let's continue that journey around there. Let's close this one out for the time being. And at the same time, what we might do is, the plan is we'll do a little something like this and like that. And it potentially could have just been, actually, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to run you back up to about there. We'll pay for that. And we will also pay for this. And then we'll need to clear out that path. And then the plan is that we will tie you in like so, and we'll pay for that. And now I think we should have at least workable accessibility here for some workers to be able to get to that hospital. Okay, I like that. That's good, and that is giving us a nice little spider web of buildings to tie in. Of little paths for our workers to be working through. I want to, at the same time, maybe extend our pathway over here. So I definitely want to make sure that we're always extending these pathways to make sure we have reasonable connectivity through the area. I am almost tempted to not only run it through there, but to run it so let's, I want to clear this out a little bit over here. Let's clear that one out, get this path to tie in like that. I like that. What we'll do is we'll pay for that so that we're expanding our accessibility with fairly direct routes, and we'll just tie that one in there. So that gives us a little bit of an expansion. There's still room for us to put a few things in here. We could still get the spider web to run up there, which ultimately we'll probably want to do. But I'm pretty keen on just understanding now what our walking distances are from here, right? It does give us accessibility to even that area there where it wouldn't have had it. So at least we've got a little bit more resilience in terms of some of these networks, right? But that does give us access to a hospital on... It does give us access to a hospital on that side. Yeah, people can get there. If we look at this guy, do you have access to a hospital? You do. You do have access to... Oh, multiple hospitals, actually. That is the police station. And we don't need you to have access to the police station. Okay, that's good. I like that little path, and our poplars are coming in nicely. It's going to be a nice little feature in the area. Okay, these are coming along. Now, have our trucks arrived? You need a flatbed. I know we need a flatbed. For waste storages. We don't need that. We don't have waste here. I'm just thinking, okay, that's the next thing we'll need to do. If we're going to start operation here, we're missing steel, but what I find interesting is we don't see any workers come in. We'll have a bit of a look, right? We'll have a bit of a look. We do need waste, right? So waste is the next item for us. Let's go with the smaller category. And I guess what we'll do is we'll have to do multiple ones, right? So we'll do one here to pick up on those two. We'll do one here to pick up on these two. And we'll do, yeah, probably just one right over here to pick up on these two. Okay, so that should be pretty reasonable for us. I'm not doing those paths. We'll do that one there. We'll do this one over here, and we'll do this one over here. I'll go ahead and pay for those paths. We will connect them via path. There and there. There and there. And that one doesn't need it, so we'll finish off that. And what I'll do is I will also kind of start the construction over there. So at least we can immediately see they are getting access. We want to make sure that we're getting some biological waste storages here. What does it actually produce? It does produce hazardous waste. So we also need to make sure we have a few hazardous waste storages. Similarly, when those are done. What is the rate at which we produce this? We don't really know, do we? We get the size of the internal storage, but we don't really know at which rate we're building this. We're still missing steel, so we'll go and have a back look whether we can get some open hulls here. My concern at the moment is that we're not seeing any trains. I mean, what the hell is this? Okay. Let's get you out of the way. Get the next guy to move in there. Right, I guess he is gonna run out of stuff straight away and then not be able to go back, right? I guess that's what was happening over here. You can only go back if you've got a reasonable amount of length. And I should be thinking about that we should put these things at least one track builder's length away from the crossover. Otherwise, you can't come back, right? It's simple. But it should have been able to get there, right? Now, this guy can quite comfortably turn around. I don't know why that one didn't want to do that. Did we have workers here? When is the next train arriving? I just want to check the next train coming in to see where our workers are going. Oh my goodness, look at the amount that we're spending. We must be exporting almost nothing at this stage. I'll have to have a look at that. That's getting out of hand. Obviously, all of this is being built to alleviate that issue. Okay, here comes a train. How many people on that train? 110 workers on the train. Are we still linking everybody to something, right? Which station is this? This is station number 4. And you are actively saying, I just want to see, everybody should be getting out, right? Everybody will be getting out. And we're not really actively assigning where you're going, right? But we might be assigning where the platform is sending people, right? So we are, yeah, we're saying where the platform is sending people. So let me remove this ever so quickly, remove all those connections, and then I think now it will work normally because we don't need those connections anymore. So now what we'll see is people, no, don't be stopping there. Are you going here? You're not going here. Okay, fine. What we're doing is let's go back to the line. We will remove that one and then just save the changes. Hang on. Again, back to the line. Getting in and out, getting out, getting out, getting in and out. Okay, fine. That's fine. And hopefully, once they dissipate off of this station, yeah, this is just crazy wastefulness. So once they dissipate from here, hopefully they will be heading elsewhere. Yeah, there we go. Are they making their way through to this area? Let's check out to see if they're popping up on this side. They should. Here we go. We have workers. We don't have the steel that they need, but they've got everything else, right? We've been slowly building up all of... Ooh, no. No. You you cannot do anything. No, none of that. You cannot do anything but this, right? And over here, you cannot do these things, right? So for the time being, I'm just going to switch you off. We're not delivering that. What is this? It's for building. I was just thinking, whoa, where is that coming from? Okay, let's quickly pop back. Hopefully, we do now have a couple of open holes. Yes, we've got one. Oh, we've got multiple. We've got multiple open holes. I guess 2 open holes should be reasonable. They're not going to use steel at the rapid rate, so 2 open holes should be absolutely fine. All of that's been built. Okay, good. Move yourselves in. The other one is the exports, right? So once you're there, we'll switch them back on again, and we should hopefully see the operation starting. So I'm just going to wait, and then we'll end the episode, waiting for these guys to arrive. I'm super worried about this money. Guys, what is happening in terms of our exports? I'm really concerned. Well, we need to be waiting for those guys. So we want to see in exports, what's happening? Why are we not exporting? So if we go, so here we're seeing, okay, let's go to last month, right? We're exporting plastics, we're exporting electronics, we're not exporting mechanical components, we're not exporting steel. If we then go back a year, we see fuel, bitumen at big numbers, right? Mechanical components, fairly big numbers. So if we come back a year, see some fuel. Okay, we do need to just have a bit of a look at that. Keep an eye on that. This is going crazy, the amount of imports. What are we importing? This is just getting out of hand. Sorry, let's just look at that. I need to sort that out. Electronic components, electronics. I think the way I set up this thing has resulted in a lot of imports of these things to be able to, because we've got a fallback, right? If they empty out the main storage, this thing starts. So I guess the way I set this up was the issue. I guess that is the problem. This is some similar might be a similar issue there. No, I think not, but still not a big number. These numbers are the ones that's a cause for concern. The other numbers are kind of reasonable, but we shouldn't be importing that much of it. We should be exporting. Importing food, yeah, by all means. Yeah, I'm a steel? Oh, yeah, might be part of construction, to be honest. Some of it might be part of construction. Okay, there we go. That should be okay. I'm just waiting on our trucks here to arrive, and then we'll close out this episode. It might be quite a bit of a distance. It's going to start snowing any minute now as well. I'm hoping this will take a little bit of time to correct, right? So I'm hoping we've picked that up early enough. I think the removal, yeah, obviously we're filling up some of these guys. They should be actually. Let's get this to let's drop that down a little bit just so that we're not getting crazy. Yeah. Obviously, once we start, getting full swing operations going and we start exporting, things will look much, much better. Yeah, I mean, construction is going along so quickly. I must say, I'm pretty impressed by it. This guy, we could maybe get these guys to help out here a little bit more, right? Is that? Oh yeah, we're not actively doing anything over there with that, but we can continue that as well. We need to make sure that all of our infrastructure is slowly being built. But I think we're able to get this up and running now. Don't have any workers, and we're still missing steel. We're waiting on the steel trucks to arrive. Let's have a look at some of our other things. Yeah, this is coming along quite nicely. It's going to open up in the winter, so we're not going to see the fountain in action straight away. Our new paths. Oh, we've got a lot of new housing coming up over here and housing coming up over there. We're using the Type 75s quite actively everywhere. These are all very close. Oh, well, that one's a little bit further, but that one is going to be opened up any day now. We have our open holes. Okay, so we can switch these back on, and they will pause it, switch this back on, and you're only doing the steel. You're only doing the steel run, right? That's the only thing you're doing. And let's just double check how much you can actually store here in terms of steel. 30, yeah, absolutely. You can comfortably go and go up to like 70% there, right? Okay, there goes those trucks. They're going to go and quickly bring us the steel. This is almost done. I just want to see this working. I didn't want to fill up these things with these components. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. But let's get the steel. The steel should be... Come on, bring the steel. This little roller is in the way. Go, go, go. Workers arriving. 27? No. Give me more workers. We need way more workers. I need to put another train on this route, I think. No, what is that? Construction materials. I was, what? Oh, what? Where am I? What the hell? Unless it's these guys. Why? Where am I? Oh, there they are. They were here, or at least one of them were here. Were here. Why is it going? That's a crazy route. Instead of turning left? I don't mind it. I don't mind it too much. Anyway, I just want to see. We have workers here. 2 workers, 4 workers. And we've got reported crimes. This is done. I like it. Don't have workers there yet. Let's have a quick look. This waste is not up there. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. Drop off your steel, buddy. Here they come. They're bringing the steel. I just want to see it doing something, right? I just want to see it doing something. Steel should be enough to get this to start working. There we go. We are producing electronic components over here, and we are producing electronic components over there, and we should see stuff happening over here fairly quickly, and we don't need to set up extra stuff to be delivered directly over there. They've got access to everything they need from the warehouse, and will be outputting in that area as well. Guys, I will put a cut in this episode. Thank you so much for watching. We are now actively creating electronics over here while the Sasselgrad Canal District is expanding, while we are building out infrastructure for the Peninsula Island, which I'm still waiting on a name suggestion from you for. Please do provide if you've got some ideas. And we are probably in a position where we can start looking at our nuclear industry in the not too distant future. Maybe the next episode we'll start planning out some stuff there. But we do need to keep an eye on this money. This money is bothering me a lot. We should be exporting a few more things. We can do a round of vehicle exports if we really need to. But for the time being, I'm going to try and survive and start exporting electronics more so than anything else. We need to put another train onto this line so we can get more workers here quicker. But I kind of like our new little industry area over here. Guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed it. Bye-bye.